Dak, we just passed the 1-year anniversary of when you lost your mom, and we talked about her influence on you. She was your best friend. She was your toughest critic, your most loyal supporter. She passed of colon cancer at the age of 52. And I read where, I guess for a while when she started to get sick, she wanted to hide that from you. How long were you in the dark about what was going on with her?
I think she found out in June it was, and didn't tell me till the beginning of August. And I think in that whole month of July was she really just didn't want to tell me. She didn't want me to worry about it coming into the season. And my brothers just told her, I mean, you've got to tell him. I mean, you tell him everything else, and he'll be okay with it. And once we talked, I mean, it was hard. It was, I mean, one of the worst news you want to hear. Your mom telling you such a thing as that. And I told her, I mean, if she wasn't tripping, I wasn't tripping, which means if she didn't make a big deal about it, I wouldn't make a big deal about it. And she continued to carry herself like nothing was wrong for a full year.
And it was a pretty aggressive cancer. I mean, did you know right away how dire the situation was, or was it pretty hopeful at first?
No, not right away, and it was pretty hopeful just because of the way she carried herself. I mean, the first few times I saw her after she had told me that, she didn't look sick by any means. She didn't act like she was sick, and yeah, by that time it was already stage 4, and I think the doctors had given her even a time, some months or something like that, but she wasn't listening to that. She was going to continue to be the person she was, the strong, positive, selfless, hardworking lady she was, regardless of what illness or what was wrong with her. And I mean, like I said, I was very hopeful at the beginning of the process because she didn't show anything.
And for a while then, even after you knew what was going on, she wanted to shield you from what was happening pretty much, right?
I guess not really so much. I mean, once we went on, I mean, I'd start going. If I got to go home with her, I'd bring her to her chemo treatments and be with her through such things. I mean, I saw all the pain she was going through, the weakness as her body was changing, throwing up, things of that nature. And I mean, she realized. I mean, I'm a man. I'm smart enough and old enough to realize what's going on. So by I guess a few months, 6 months later or so, when it really things started changing, she wasn't hiding anything. We'd talk every day, text, ask how she was. So,
I mean, as sad and awful as it is, the fact that you could have those conversations, I would imagine, is helpful in some regard, right? I mean, you hear these stories, and we've all, known people who have gone through this, where you lose someone instantly, and suddenly you don't get to say goodbye, you don't get to have meaningful conversations. Did you take much out of those conversations that you could have with her as she was going through this awful experience?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when I'd get to go home and see her, you'd never know if that was your last time getting to see your mom or how that feeling was. And I think in our hugs and in our conversations, we both felt that and didn't know and were unsure. But I mean, she continued to fight, like I said, like nothing was wrong, like she wasn't as sick as she was. And I mean, I'd text her every day, ask her how she was or what she was doing, and knowing exactly what she was doing, not much a stage 4 chemo patient can do. She's either in her bed watching TV or talking to my grandparents. And one day I just this will stick with me forever, like you're saying. It's helpful and it's motivational, because one day I text her and I'm like, how are you? And she's like, I just wish I couldn't hurt for one day. And I mean, that feeling, through everything I carry in life, if just that right there, no matter how bad the pain is, and no matter how bad things are, what I'm going through, I'll just remember that, of how much pain my mom was in and really didn't show it, to give me a positive attitude and go about things.
Forces you to grow up in ways that you wouldn't otherwise, right? I mean, it'd be nice if you could be a kid for longer and not have to know that these things can happen, but you're dealing with things in the classroom, you're dealing with things in your life now as a celebrity on the football field. Makes you a man. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, you've got to grow up. Like I said, that makes you grow up faster and puts things so much surreal, I guess you can say. And it's life. I mean, life isn't fair. You're going to get a hand and you got to play it regardless of what it is, and just be positive about it. And that's how I try to carry it through my life.